So yesterday I got an email from brother Mark Cruz. You may see him on TikTok at How You Move. Make sure you follow him for more content over there. And obviously he sent me a myriad of videos dealing with today's subject. And part of that subject is black men going to the Dominican Republic, Cartagena, Colombia, and, not finding decent women. In other words, finding women who only want you for your money. Now, there's a brother out here who is particularly talking about this situation. And of course, he's a black man, not making some complaints, but making some observations that black men are going out there, possibly getting used for your money. And then there is a controversial response from a Dominican man living in the United States, pretty much castigating the passport bro community for thinking that they're going to find something that they haven't found in America already. So guys, let's get into the video. So the first video comes from a brother by the name of AK Sean TV2. Check him out on TikTok, okay? And he's the brother that is I believe he's an African-American brother, and he is a passport bro. And I want to kind of get into his mindset before we can get into the response, to see what kind of content he's creating on TikTok and to see if he's being fair and balanced in today's discussion. So let's check out this first video here.
Man, if you are frustrated in America with a woman and dating options, the quickest fix, the quickest way to automatically upgrade yourself without spending years trying to become a millionaire and all these kind of things, is to get your passport and book out, man. Book out. Guaranteed. You go to certain countries around this world, man, your status automatically upgrades. When your status upgrades, that gives you an upgrade in the quality, definitely the quantity of women that you can meet and date. Man, when I travel to DR, I turn down women and turn down dates because I have too many options. And I don't know how many people can say that in the US. So get your passport, man, if you are not satisfied with the dating life in America, and see like magic it'll improve.
All right, so we've heard that particular video, and I do believe that it's interesting. And he's saying, if you're having trouble in America, just upgrade your life by getting a passport. And instead of, doing the things like working on yourself, spending time to become a millionaire, the quickest way is to get a passport. And immediately when you go to these places, you're going to have an upgrade. Why are you going to have an upgrade? Because you're an American citizen. So the only reason why you're going to have this upgrade in life is you're an American citizen, and these women are looking for American men. So it's nothing that you really done for yourself that makes the upgrade. It's really just the fact that you're an American citizen. And so he says when you go to the Dominican Republic, that, well, if you want to be real, he's turning down women because he has too many options. The only difference is because he has his passport. Let me push back on that a little bit. I've been living overseas the last 7 years, and the success that I have personally, it's not because I'm a United States citizen. It's because I work hard. And what happens if you start getting a lot of men that are passport bros or passport guys that are coming over to the DR or Colombia? Then it's going to be more difficult because you're not special anymore. And I think that's what guys are looking for. In general, people in America in general are looking for a quick fix, and people don't want to spend the time developing themselves overall, which is what you should do. And I don't think this guy is a big proponent of that. It seems like he wants a quick fix, just kind of get over there and start dating, and you're still not maybe as successful as you should be. I just don't buy that. Number one is because when you go to these other countries, if you really want to get the top tier women, there are guys in those countries that are successful and that work really hard. So what kind of women am I going to be dealing with? Probably not women who are not that successful because really water seeks its own level, right? But let's kind of go into something he says that is quite the opposite of this, and then we'll come back.
As far as traveling, man, some guys, they go to these foreign countries, Dominican Republic, Cartagena, Colombia, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and you lose your mind. You've never seen these type of women, beautiful women, in quantity, and they're interested in you. When back in the U.S. or back in your home state, you may not have been able to pull a 5 or 6. Now I'm saying you got 8, 9s, and 10s interested in you. Be careful, man. Because really, you meet these women in these cities in particular, Dominican Republic, Cartagena, Colombia, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and also, to some extent, Medellin, Colombia. These are popular tourist destinations. These are places that women in these countries know that they can go find a gringo or a Western man and get some money about him. So it's heavily schemed. We are really schemed against these particular cities. So just be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? You meet a young lady, have fun, you know what I'm saying, do what it is, but don't try to fall in love in these particular cities, because more likely than not, she's just looking for either a good time and or some money, probably money first.
All right, so it seems like he recorded a bunch of these videos the same day in the same outfit. I mean, I get it. I do something similar, but it seems like he's sort of not making a whole lot of sense, because he said recently in the video before, if you go to these countries, you're going to have such a great time because the quickest way to upgrade your life is to get a passport, not working on yourself. But if you go to these certain countries in these particular cities, well, what are you going to find out? That there are women out there who only want you for your money. This sounds a lot like the United States. But why does that sound a lot like the United States? Because water seeks its own level. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that professional guys like, hot women, beautiful women. But here's the reality. Wherever you are in the world is what you're going to produce. A lot of brothers that don't work on themselves are going to get to Dominican Republic around chicks who are pretty, or Brazil, or wherever they're going, who don't work on themselves. You have no real socioeconomic chemistry going on. So there's no real value that you're going to offer to each other. And that's true in the United States. So yeah, women are going to look at you for money because probably you're looking at her for the booty, especially if you can't really speak the language and stuff like that. And, she's speaking Portuguese, Spanish, it's a possibility. And I get what he's trying to say. But if you're being a target in America, the difference is that in America, you wouldn't have a chance at all. Here you have a chance, possibly because you get paid for play. But it just seems that a lot of guys are complaining about the same thing. When we go overseas to these other places, these women just want you for their money, for your money, which is very similar to American women. I get what he's trying to say because you got better access, but at the same time, high performers attract high performers anywhere in the world. And it seems like a guy with just a passport and nothing much else going on with himself probably cannot believe that he's going to get a great woman that can add a lot of value to his life if he's not adding a lot of value to his own life. But let's listen to the most controversial part here.
Cartagena, Colombia, Rio de Janeiro.
My man, let me give you a piece of advice from a Dominican citizen. You can go to the Dominican Republic, Colombia, Brazil, and marry a woman. There is nothing wrong with that. The problem is that if you can't score a 7, 8, 10 here in the United States, you can't score a 7, 8, 10 over there neither. If you are ugly here, you're still the same ugly motherfucker over there. Now, these are countries that have necessity, where a lot of people see dollar bills as their salvations. So, if you're scoring a 10 over there, and over here you're scoring a 4, then They're scamming you. They're with you for your money. You can't be that dumb.
Okay, so give him a round of applause, right? He's saying something very similar that the black guy is saying, which is the women are very beautiful, but be careful. And he's saying be careful because it's such a problem that they're being targeted that they only want you for your money. The Dominican guy is saying if you can't get a 10 in America, you won't be able to get a 10 in the Dominican Republic or Colombia. Okay, so what is he trying to really get at as to why would you get a 10? If you're not a successful person in America, you might not be the most successful person overseas. Now, as true as that can be, I don't necessarily all the way agree with that because you have guys that don't do necessarily so well in America, but then they go to other places and they do moderately well. Again, we got to really look at what 9s or 10s are. And so it's not the same thing. Let's say, for example, if you're in Kenya, Uganda, a woman who's a 6 or a 7 here is probably going to be a 10 in the United States. A woman who's a 5 or a 6 in Poland is like a 9 or a 10 in the United States. So his rating scale is off because a woman in the Dominican Republic at the 6 is probably a 9 in America, right?
He ain't lying.
Because the beauty standards in those countries are typically a little bit less. Like most pretty girls, like if you were to see them in Africa, they probably don't even think that they're beautiful in comparison to the other girls, simply because that's just how much competition it is, right? And obviously, people don't wear as much makeup as they might wear in America, but I get the whole point that if you're not successful in America, you're probably not successful overseas. And women are gonna like you for your money, which women like you for your money everywhere. But if you're a guy that doesn't have a whole lot to offer, and again, what makes women can appreciate you more to get a higher quality of woman? Being a higher quality man, having boundaries, being able to intermix with socioeconomic factors. If you're dealing with somebody from the same socioeconomic class, same level of education, similar interests, similar business, right? It helps. Those things help in the business world because you have the same values. A lot of guys that could be going overseas are guys who might not be, and I'm not saying that this is all guys because obviously it's not, but it could be some of the brothers that are not educationally achieved, right? They do very good in school. You have some of the brothers that don't have a lot of good core values for themselves. And I think these could be the majority of the men that may be complaining like he is about this, that don't have a whole lot of accomplishment, but expecting a lot of results. In comparison to more of a well-rounded individual who went to college, who was achieving fairly well in the United States and then goes overseas, that person is more apt to perform very well due to his own personal accomplishments. So that's why personal achievement in one's origin country makes a difference in how they do in the next country. Almost every successful immigrant does fairly well in his home-owned country before he goes abroad somewhere else. It's highly unlikely for a person to have underachieved in America and then experience that same level of high achievement in the next country. It's very, very doubtful. But guys, what do you think? Did the Dominican guy crush him? You let me know in the comment section. We're out. Peace.